these resupply operations took place at harbors that were providing very necessary food and ammunition, and these harbors, these docks, were very close to vegetation. The enemy then countered that by firing RPGs and mortars at our ships, and we responded with Agent Orange as a means of providing standoff to protect our sailors. But at the same time, we were poisoning our servicemen and women.
That Congressman Chris Gibson of New York alongside Senator Kirsten Gillibrand as they talked about U.S. Navy vets who were exposed to Agent Orange. Now, that chemical defoliant, it has been linked to everything from cancer to heart disease to Parkinson's. Now, America is finally trying to make things right. Lawmakers, led by the senator, are sponsoring a bill that would extend health and disability benefits to naval veterans who suffered from exposure. And it's amazing to think, Mike, that in 2015, we're finally getting legislation to do the right thing. I know you've been involved in this issue. It's very real. You talk to families who've gone through this, and it didn't show up right away, but this has been really the second half of their lives that they've had to deal with this.
Yeah, absolutely, Rich, and you've been involved as well. You got out in front of the story months ago, and it's so very important. These people are literally walking around with a death sentence, about a 13-year period between when they are diagnosed and when they finally go from Agent Orange. And so this is the right thing to do, and I'm glad Senator Gillibrand's out in front of this. I know there's an entire Blue Water Navy Association that's supporting this. This is clearly the right thing to do. You've got to take care of these sailors that were exposed to this defoliant.
Give an idea, because this isn't a news flash. Agent Orange, we knew for a long time, had really harmful effects. Forget about why it was used in the first place. Let's move past that to the guys come home. I know we do a better job now, not a perfect job about treating our vets when they came home, but speak about it, because you've been very involved in this issue. Why has it taken so long for what you would think would be a popular measure to finally make the situation right for them? Why has it been such an uphill fight?
Well, unfortunately, I think a lot of it had to do with money, because it's about $1 billion to take care of this problem going forward, even from now, even though some have already passed from it. There's also the situation, for whatever reason, they just decided a line was drawn that said, look, if you weren't on the ground in Vietnam, there's just no way that you were exposed to it. But time after time, study after study shows that these sailors washed their clothes in it. They drank from the water that was desalinized in it. That if they were anywhere near that area of operation in that Gulf of Tonkin, they were exposed to it, and they have the symptoms to prove it.
Well, I'm glad that they're finally getting around to doing this, but it's so consistent with, it seems like, how we treat our veterans, and obviously you'd be able to speak better to this, but whether it's Vietnam or whether it's PTSD or finding a job or just basic support, guidance to help soldiers make the transition to being civilians. Look at the first responders from 9/11 and the Zadroga bill, who I would put in the same category of heroes, who we salute them and we put flags on our cars, but we don't give them what they need. We don't give them the money. We don't give them the assistance. And it seems like that's as American as apple pie, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is a known. I think that, look, veterans bring some problems on themselves. Let's face it. I mean, I do think that in some cases they've been entitled in certain areas. I'll say that affectionately, because I do think some veterans need to, kind of ruck up for themselves and take care of themselves. This is not that situation. This is a situation where a known, they were in the theater of operations, exposed to this chemicals. I remember going to war feeling like I was a pincushion. There was all kinds of things that they wanted to give us experimentally, given what was going on. They probably had no idea Agent Orange was going to do this. And now you look over the horizon and see what you got.
So is this a money issue, a financial issue?
Yeah, Dominic, right now I think that's the problem, and that is to fund this bill right now, they're going to have to find another $1 billion offset. Talking to Commander Davis, who runs the executive director of the Blue Water Vet Program here, and he met with Sloan Gibson, I think today, actually, or yesterday, and as he said, the meeting was very positive. But that's the issue. The way the laws work right now, to find funding for this, they're going to have to find the offset, and so they're working very feverishly to do that.
You know what's funny, though? If you said to the American public, the president, I don't care the politics of it, said, you know what, for this summer, we're going to put a cent gas tax, because every penny, every centilla of dollars raised will go to pay for veteran care. It wouldn't even take 3 months, okay? I defy you. I'll show you the polls the next day. 85% of the public would say yes. Yeah. And I think sometimes that's what it takes, more than, you know, some lawmaker trying to bury a bill or put some attachments to it. Now to have to find offsets in the military budget to pay for it, which is offensive to me in the first place for this. Andrew said it. Who would have ever thought the Zadroga bill, which gave health care to people who ran to the pile after the EPA told them it was safe to breathe the air, they had to prove they were sick when they were dying that they were down there, and we still have to fight every year to renew the bill. It's just unbelievable. But on this one, I know you've been working on it, but the military shouldn't have to carry the water for this.
Rich.
This is just, I mean, we treated these vets so bad coming back from Vietnam. The least we can do in 2015 is make their end of life.
You said it right there. Our country loves our veterans now on the back of the Vietnam veteran. I don't think I felt that way when I came back. I don't think we can do enough for that generation that was drafted into this. We can't really do enough for those and what they've been through and how they've stuck with. They love their country. We all hate the war, but the Vietnam veteran in particular gets it.
And that's a perfect note to end on. Mike, thank you so much. Guys, thank you as well. When we come back, I'll have some of your comments from earlier shows. Stay with us.